Hi everybody, it's Ann Clay and I'm Seeking Wellness, and I have so much to talk to you about today. So first things first, how do I feel? I feel really good. So we're going to get into that later, why I feel really good and how things are going. But I've lost 35 pounds so far. I still have a lot to go. In fact, I had a family reunion and we took a group picture and I was feeling thin. I even had a two-piece bathing suit on under this really cute cover-up that was a size medium. I was feeling oh so good. And then because I'm the photographer and I looked at the picture and I was like, oh, I didn't think I still looked like that. So that was a little bit, but yeah, I do have still a good 70 pounds to lose at least. Really, I want to lose about 80 pounds to get to where I really want to be. So yeah, okay. Well, let's go into all the stuff that's going on. First, though, I want you to leave me a comment and tell me how you're doing. I'm really sorry I have not been around. The truth is I've been feeling good enough that I have been working on my house. I've been working on my home decor fall line. I've been working on this big meet and greet for my other channel, Ann Clay the Primitive Home, that I wanted to get going. So I have been doing a lot of work. And I haven't sat down to do my video for you guys. Now, let's go back to where I was last time I talked to you. Okay, first of all, I am in my 12th week. On Thursday, it will be 12 weeks carnivore and 14 weeks doing keto. I have lost 35 pounds. I have lost 11 inches off my waist, which, wow, right? Like, I was really surprised in that picture that my waist looked big because I thought, really? Like I'm 2 inches away from really good, you know? I have lost all my blood pressure medications. I am, my average blood pressure right now is like, well, 120/65. Not bad. I mean, I'll take it. I am more energetic. I am sharper. The lipedema pain that I had in my legs is pretty much subsided. My rosacea is still here. Chronic fatigue syndrome is here, but I'm going to talk to you about that. And last time we met, I had histamine problems and I was reduced to only eating lamb. I ate lamb for probably a month, just lamb. Nothing else, just lamb chops, lamb steak, lamb whatever I could get my hands on. In fact, I bought the farm out of their lamb supply. So they're going to have to kill a poor little lamb just for me. But I am also resolving the histamine problems, and so I want to talk to you about that too. So lots and lots to talk about, and let's just start here, okay? I was so tired. And I've had so much joint pain still that I decided to do a Lyme test. Now, the reason I also decided to do a Lyme test was because when I go to the ER thinking I'm having a heart attack and they do the blood samples, my D-dimer test is always high. That's the enzyme in you that's sent out to break up blood clots. If your D-dimer is high, they assume you must have a blood clot. Now, my D-dimer was not elevated a little. It was like way through the roof to this alarming rate where they wanted to get me right in, get a CAT scan of my heart, and determine that I didn't have a blood clot in my lungs or my chest. However, they could not get a vein in my arm to do the CAT scan. So the doctor wanted to go in through my neck and down by my lung, and I wouldn't let him because this guy had big fingers. He was kind of a clod and I didn't trust him, and I did not want anything going through my neck because I knew I didn't have a blood clot. I knew my D-dimer is always high when I go in, and I've just kind of stored that in my head knowing that that's the case because it is not the first time I've gone in with thinking I had a heart attack. I've been in the ER 3, 4, 5 times with this, okay? Now I'm not a total hypochondriac, but because my sister did die of a heart attack, I just didn't want to take a chance. I will tell you though what those things were. later, but let's go back to the D dimer test. So a friend of mine said to me, you should check for Lyme because sometimes with Lyme, you're going to have a high D dimer. And so I thought, well, hey, I have joint pain, I have a lot of fatigue, and I have a high D dimer. Let me check for Lyme. Guess what? I had an abnormal Lyme panel. Yeah. So it showed that I have Lyme titers in my body, which means at some point, who knows when, I was bit by a tick. Then I was having so much trouble with histamine, and I was pretty sure it was histamine, but I wanted to make sure I didn't have alpha-gal, which is the bite from a Lone Star tick that makes you allergic to mammals. Because the last thing I wanted to do was be allergic to cows and pork and lamb and all these mammals and eat it and be allergic to it. Because ever since I started carnivore, my nose has been running. And the last time I ate the bison, I was just like, I could feel everything swelling up in here, which is just such a bad feeling. So I had that test. And guess what? I am not allergic to cow or lamb, but I am allergic to pork. In fact, so allergic to pork that the lab called me and said, go to your doctor, you're allergic to pork. Now, I thought that was kind of silly because, I mean, what's your doctor going to say to you? Then don't eat pork, right? But they had to cover themselves. So I did find out because of a Lone Star tick bite, I was allergic to pork. Now, this shouldn't be any surprise. I live in Connecticut. I don't live that far away from Lyme, which was the epicenter of Lyme disease. I live in a country house in the country with woods all around me. I have 3 dogs. In the spring, there are ticks everywhere, although I didn't really see ticks this year. But it is not uncommon for the dogs to take ticks in the house. I mean, and I pretty much avoid going outside most of the time because I don't want ticks. Now, I live in a house that has tremendous, gorgeous gardens, and I won't even garden because I'm afraid of the ticks. And here I have been infected by a tick bite and enough to be allergic to pork. So bacon has now gone out of the window. There is no more pork for me. I decided to test the hypothesis last Sunday. My daughter was eating this ham steak that smelled so good. So I ate a bite and I burped it the whole day. I just burped to that one bite of ham. So, you know, we're staying away from pork. All right. So with all that information, I now knew that histamine was my real problem. And I actually am very sure, and I don't even think I have to test because I just know from my symptoms that I have MCAS, which is mass cell activation syndrome, which means that you have these cells and they have little histamine cells in them. And histamine is really good for you because it fights disease. You know, it sends out this warning to your body that something that you are eating or around is not good for you. If there's disease and other things, it'll send it out and fight it. It sends your whole, it basically ignites the soldiers. But the problem with me is my soldiers ignite over nothing. You know, nothing ignites all my soldiers. They all come out and I get this huge attack. So let me tell you about some of the times I've gone to the hospital or didn't go to the hospital but felt I should. I was having histamine poisoning. I thought I was having a heart attack, but I was having histamine poisoning. Basically, if you are a very highly allergic person with MCAS, you're prone to allergies anyway. I have every airborne allergy alive. When I go to the allergist and they test me, there's nothing on the test that I am not highly allergic to. It's just off the charts all the time. And I have food sensitivities and I just have a lot of histamine issues. I have asthma. My mother has asthma. My grandmother had asthma. My sister had asthma. I mean, it is definitely a family thing. Our family does not make enough DAO. Now, DAO stands for, I can't find what it stands for. diamine oxidase, okay? Diamine oxidase. That is DAO. Some people don't produce enough of that DAO and they have histamine problems. You may be one of them. So, I am a very allergic person. When I've gone away with a friend or with my husband and we've gone away overnight or for a few days and I've had a couple drinks and I've eaten out and eaten whatever I wanted to eat, sometimes I have had big problems. Like all of a sudden it'll hit me, I'm nauseous, I break out in a sweat, my heart starts just pounding like tachycardia. I'm like at 120 beats per minute. My blood pressure goes way up. Whether or not the blood pressure goes up because of that or because I'm now stressed and thinking I'm going to die, I don't know. It probably is both. And my blood pressure goes really high, like 170 over whatever, and 90, and I am in this basic freak out. So I feel so sick, my head hurts, I'm just nauseous, and I have to lay down, and in a half a day, it goes away. It just goes away. Now, the last time I went to the hospital, I had that problem, and it was because I ate a little bit of chocolate. I had a little bit of Ben & Jerry's chocolate ice cream, and I got sick all overnight, and it sent me to the hospital because I thought, what if it's a heart attack and I ignore it? So that's what happens when you have histamine poisoning. It can actually feel like a heart attack. Now, I think it's really good to check it out, but I was starting to have these consistently a lot, like they'd come out of the blue. And I mentioned them to the doctor, and the doctor said to me, well, we could put a heart monitor on you. But it wasn't a heart issue. It was a histamine issue. And now I know that if that kind of thing comes on me, all I have to do is take like a quick dissolved Zyrtec or something and some allergy medication that will just flood my system and it will take care of the problem. It's been scary when I've had it. I mean, I had it once. My friend Roz was driving me home and I thought, I'm gonna die in the car. And I had to keep getting out and getting sick and coming back in. Another time it happened after a beautiful night in this gorgeous inn on the water, and I got really sick, and my poor sister-in-law was driving 80 miles an hour to get me home thinking I was gonna die. And this was after a beautiful overnight that we were so relaxed, and that just stressed us right up, and that was the end of that. These things have been happening to me in the last few years, and I didn't know what it was. I really thought, what if I have a problem with my heart? Now, I know the truth. And so this is what I'm doing to take care of my histamine. It's very easy to try to, maybe it's not easy, it's easy for me to try to avoid histamine foods because I live in the country. I have farms around me. I have a farm. It's actually about a half hour away. And they do have lamb, and I can go there and purchase lamb. But lamb isn't cheap, guys. Lamb is like $12 a pound. And I can't just fill up on lamb. I can't get my calories in. You know, for a while there, I was having trouble because I had to wait for Tom to grill it. I bought an air fryer, and now I do it myself. So I am now self-sufficient again to get my lamb. But I heard about people that were doing it for years and they weren't getting better. And I thought, okay, so there's a couple things here that I have to do. One is you want to heal your gut. So part of this can be your whole microbiome in your gut is still adapting, and that's what's going on. Another thing that could be happening is that I have leaky gut, which means that my cells have parted in my gut and there's particles of food going through and causing histamine problems. So undoubtedly I have leaky gut and it hasn't healed. Supposedly it's supposed to heal on the carnivore diet. So if my leaky gut can heal on the carnivore diet, it would just be a matter of time. But I've heard about people that have been doing this for 2 years, eating lamb, and they were still stuck eating lamb. So I thought, I'm not going to do that. I am going to take matters into my own hands. So the first thing I did, and I did not take the bottle in with me, but I got some acidophilus, but it's lactobacterium acidophilus. The regular microbiome probiotics that you get in a bottle that have all those things, they also have microbiome probiotics that can actually produce histamine. If you have a histamine problem, sorry, I have this thing on me. If you have a histamine problem, you do not want to produce more histamine in your body. So that particular strain of Acidophilus does not produce any more histamine in your body. I will leave a link below for that so you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I started with that and I thought, well, let's bring some more good microbiome in there to fight the histamine and to start to heal the gut. Because ultimately, healing the gut is one of the many crucial things for health. So I started with that, and then I did a deep dive all over YouTube on a histamine problem. I listened to everybody who would talk about it, and then I decided who really knew what they were talking about. And who I found was some man named Dr. Ben Lynch. He has quite a few videos out there and quite a few on histamine. He actually has a histamine problem. He was treating people for many years, and he has now made his own products. And he was talking about what his products do. So I ended up ordering some of his products. So I'd like to show you them. I ordered this histamine nutrients, and I ordered the histamine X. Okay, he has another one. So the other one that he has, and I don't remember the name of it, but I'll leave that link too. The other one that he has works a lot like this His DAO. I take this His DAO when I eat food that I think are going to cause me to react a little bit. Now, I've healed enough that I don't have to take this when I'm eating lamb, but if I'm eating eggs, I choose to eat just the egg yolks and not the egg whites because they're histamine producing. If I eat eggs and I eat hamburger, I will take this. Now, hamburger can have a lot of histamine in it, but in the farm I found, they freeze the animal right after it, they kill it. They kill it and they freeze it. So it's going to produce less histamine. So I'm able to eat their ground beef. I'm able to eat all their beef, thank goodness. And I do take this His DAO. I think I'm going to get to a point where I'm not going to need this, but I'm still taking this right now because my mast cell activation syndrome just has gone nuts, obviously, during this whole time. So I'm healing my gut. This is the Histaminix. This is something that helps you heal your gut. It's got stinging nettle extract in it, bromelain. It's got some other things in it that help heal your gut from histamine. And this is something that he said actually helps keep those histamine cells in your big cell and your mast cells so that you're not spewing histamine out all the time. So I decided that this would be very helpful for me. So I've been taking this every day, and I've been taking this every day now. Histamine nutrients, you can take it with the other one. Again, it's got some good nutrients to help you. Some of the people that I listened to said that they thought histamine was also caused by maybe a little bit of a lack of a vitamin C, a little bit of a lack of a copper. You could do liver maybe, and that would help you. But I had so much histamine, I couldn't even do the liver. So I started taking these histamine nutrients. They actually help me sleep at night, which is a really nice benefit. But they are really good. And there have been a few days that I've felt like I had a lot of histamine in them, and I take 2 in the morning and 2 at night. You take them as needed. I will take these with meals if I really feel like I'm gonna, I feel a real histamine reaction coming on. But with these vitamins, this one, with these, they're healing my gut along with the Acidophilus, and with this His DAO, I am now able to eat food again, which is huge. I mean, my poor mother was worried about me because, how can that be? Your daughter can only eat ham now? So that was ridiculous. So I am doing a lot better with my histamine issues. Now, this Dr. Ben Lynch also talked about that another part of your histamine issue could be adrenaline and cortisol, and maybe your adrenal gland needs some support. I know my adrenal gland needs support because that's been part of the picture of chronic fatigue syndrome. Blood sugar, adrenal roller coaster, right? So I picked up some of his adrenal cortex. He says, take it in the morning when you wake up and you feel crappy. Don't take it if you wake up and you feel good. And don't take it later than the morning because then you won't sleep at night. So I have been taking this in the morning when I wake up and I feel crappy, and it does help. He also sells an adrenal support product, which I am also going to get, but I'm taking something else too. So I want to talk about that and show that to you. But this is how I'm dealing with the histamine issue. So if you have a histamine issue and have had a lot of problems and haven't been able to conquer it, this is what's helped me a lot. So basically my histamine issue has lasted 1 month and no more. I was not going 2 years on just lamb. It just wasn't going to happen. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is my sleep. I am still not sleeping well at night. Now that's part of carnivore, is sleeping well. And I haven't found that to be the case with me yet. But I am doing some things to help myself sleep. Now, with chronic fatigue syndrome, having it 35 years, I never get out of bed until 10:30, 11 o'clock. If I get out at 9, it's like, wow. So that has been a big problem with me. And I'd have problems going to sleep. And then it takes me so long to go to sleep that then I have to sleep in the morning, and I need 10 hours or I feel really, really crappy. I've never been able to get up early. You know, people would say, just get up early, change your schedule, but I've never been able to do that. But this is what I'm doing. I am doing another drug. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, another thing. But what I am doing at night is I'm doing some nighttime magnesium cream. I'll leave a link for this too. Nighttime magnesium cream. This smells like lavender and it's oh so nice. And so I've been rubbing this on my legs, my arms, my chest. I even put this on my face because I want to smell the lavender. What I did find, bonus of this, is that this actually helps with the rosacea, because magnesium, you know, you think about Epsom salts. When you soak in Epsom salts, it relieves inflammation in your skin. So it actually helped relieve inflammation in my cheeks, which is really, really interesting. Now I've been doing something else that is increasing inflammation in my cheeks, so whatever. But this has been really great for that. So if you have rosacea and you have trouble sleeping, you might want to try this because this has helped me. But now I want to get to the actual big thing that's going on, and I have to read it to you because I cannot just quote it verbatim. Lately, this last week, I have been getting up at 8 in the morning. And I have been falling asleep maybe by midnight, getting up at 8, and I can't sleep anymore. I'm done, which is really amazing because, like I said, I've been sleeping till 10:30. I don't always feel great when I get up, but I am taking the adrenal help. I'm going to get some of the adrenal support, and that's helping me. However, there is one supplement that I have taken now that is turning my chronic fatigue syndrome around. And I got to tell you guys, it's been 35 years. And the carnivore diet has not healed me, okay? But the carnivore diet has helped me figure out what's going on. I don't know how to explain this except that because I've been eliminating everything and getting down to bare bones, and then some issues have surfaced, it's actually helped me know what issues I have. So I have been Dr. Ann, and I'm not a doctor, but I've been doctoring myself. And I don't think that's the best idea for everybody, but for 35 years, I have been studying all of these things, and I've been studying myself. Now, I have been watching every carnivore person out there, right? And I've been watching all the interviews, and one day I saw a phenomenal interview, and is it 5 minute channel or 5 minute carnivore? I'm sorry, I can't remember the name of but anyway, okay. She had Dr. Nathan Bryan on. Now, Dr. Nathan Bryan has been working in the field of nitric oxide for 20 years. Studying it, studying how it works on the body, just totally embroiling himself in this, right? And he was talking about how good it is for your heart and how good it is for insulin levels, how good it is for your blood pressure. And those things are great in and of themselves, right? But I have been struggling. I mean, carnivore has helped fix a lot of that, right? Carnivore has fixed my blood sugar levels. Carnivore has fixed my blood pressure. But okay, anyway, he was talking about that, and he was saying that this nitric oxide acts as a vasodilator so that your cells, have more free flowing. There's more flexibility in your arteries. And that's really important as we get older. And apparently as we get older, we do not produce enough nitric oxide. He also talked about how nitric oxide, if we take statins or if we use antacids, mouthwash, fluoride in our toothpaste, fluoride in our water supply, those things will diminish nitric oxide, which is so important for your health. It seems to be like almost one of these connect the dots, this is good for your health things, like one of these magic pills. And of course, a lot of us are like really leery of the magic pill because there are so many magic pills out there and none of them work. We're even leery, like, is carnivore really a magic pill? I hear so many people talk about it, and they've lost 60 pounds in 3 months. I didn't. They've lost their joint pain, and they're sleeping great and everything's great. And that is really great for a lot of people, and that's how it goes for a lot of people. I knew that it wasn't going that way for me pretty early on, and I knew that I'd have to do something else. However, okay, so Dr. Brian started talking then about COVID, and he was talking about how the problem was that people didn't have nitric oxide in their system. And there are certain, people that are lower in the nitric oxide, and older people have trouble with nitric oxide. I've already been living with long Epstein-Barr virus for the last 35 years. And now I'm living with Lyme in my system too. So all these things in my system cause trouble. And incidentally, the Epstein-Barr virus also could be causing the D-dimer. The D-dimer elevation when I get my test. So, not to be too medical, but for those of you who have some long-term viruses that have never gone away, he started talking about that. He was talking about long COVID, but I've always believed that long COVID is just like long Epstein-Barr, because basically it's a virus in your system that attacks your system, and for some reason you can never get it to go away. And part of the reason might be blood sugar issues. Part of the reason might be this blood sugar adrenal roller coaster. Part of the reason might be you have MCAS and a lot of histamine problems. Everything comes together to keep your body from getting rid of the virus. And my whole life, all I've wanted to do is get rid of the virus. He said, it's not that hard to get rid of these viruses that are attacking you. So my ears perked up, and this is what he said. I listened to him about 15 times so I could write it down, because he knows his stuff, and he was super fast, and he goes, well, you got blah, 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 and so I went back and I typed it out like a crazy person. He said, it's caused by vascular inflammation. Now, we all know we don't want vascular inflammation anyway, because that can lead to a heart attack. And with my metabolic syndrome, vascular inflammation, all of that stuff, I was primed to have a heart attack. But anyway, vascular inflammation happens. And you have an upregulation of the ACE2 receptors, your spike protein binds, your monocytes and neutrophils start to stick together, your platelets aggregate. Okay, so let me stop there. Basically what he's saying is all these things start happening in your body, and your blood platelets that are supposed to all be flowing through your arteries and veins, they're supposed to just be flowing nicely through. They aggregate, which means they start to clump up. They start to get all it's like they're magnets and they're all sticking together. I knew that that was my problem because I've seen in a microscope my blood sticking together. I had a doctor that sat me down and showed me everything that was going on. And so I knew that that was happening to me. And it's always kind of freaked me out. And then he said, our body breaks those platelets down because now the platelets are all together. And he said, then we get an elevation of D-dimer. And I went, bingo, bingo. That is why my D-dimer has been elevated. Now, the Epstein-Barr virus and the Lyme can cause all of this to happen in your system as long COVID too. So I was like, wow. Now, okay, you guys have to understand, I'm not a scientist. I am like no physician. I am no nothing. I am an artist. I am actually, I wouldn't say I'm anti-science, but when I homeschooled my kids for a few years, they got no science courses. Let's just say that, because I am not little miss scientifically aware of things. But when I heard him talk about this, there were enough ding, ding, dings that I thought, okay, I have to pay attention to this. So he said, this explains vascular inflammation that persists long after the initial infection. So if all of my symptoms, or many of them, have been because of this vascular inflammation that has been in this whole cycle in my system that has never been able to resolve no matter what I did, I needed nitric oxide. So I was listening so well. And then he said, if we give it nitric oxide, so if we give us nitric oxide, that gets in our system, right? And then we downregulate our ACE2 receptors, our other adhesion molecules and monocytes and neutrophils. They don't stick anymore, yay. Our platelets don't get aggregated and activated. Our D-dimer will go down, and we maintain normal perfusion. We negate the inflammation, and your long-standing virus should go away. Now, when he said this, I was like, ah! Because it was like the lights went on, and I just thought, and I know maybe it's a total simplistic solution, but I have been to doctors who have studied me, and I paid $60,000 and walked out of there feeling not a whole lot better than when I walked in. And when I had heard him say this, I was like, this might really do it. Like, this is the most promising of anything I have ever heard for my chronic fatigue syndrome. And so I listened some more, and thank goodness he makes nitric oxide. And then he explained how, if you just swallow it, that doesn't really help you. The real way to get it into your system, because it comes through your saliva, is to have a lozenger that has nitric oxide and let that filter into your system. It made so much sense to me, and I thought, since this man explained it in a way that I could understand, I was going to buy his product and I was going to try it. So I went right out and bought 4 bottles. And it is expensive. It's cheaper if you buy 4 bottles, but it's not cheap. But I was so excited. I called my mother. I said, I think I found my cure. I think I'm going to get better now. After 35 years of being sick, 5 of them that I was in bed and I couldn't get out. The first 5 years of my marriage, by the way. And for all these years that I've been sick, laying on the couch, sleeping until noon, and even if I had if I felt really good, I'd usually have 3 or 4 hours of productivity, and then the rest I'd have to rest again. All these years, the years that I raised my babies and crawled on the floor for the last few hours before Tom came home from work and passed them off to him and went to bed. The years that I cried, the years that I would be in healing services, praying and praying and praying for healing. All the times people said to me things like, the joy of the Lord is your strength. While I was sick in bed, not being able to get out. All those healing services that I went to where people were jumping up and down because their teeth were filled with gold, supposedly, but I still couldn't get out of bed. All those years that people said to me, you lack faith, that's why you're not healed. Or just get out of bed, you're lazy. Just change your schedule. All those years of being sick, I called my mom up and I said, I think I found the cure. I'm going to try it. And I ordered it. Then I went on Amazon and read a few reviews, and people were like, no, this made my blood pressure go way up. And, and then I freaked out and I thought, what if this doesn't work? So a week later, my product arrived. This is what it is. It's nitric oxide, 60 lozenges of nitric oxide from the N101 company. And I'll leave a link for this too. If you are a chronic virus person, maybe this will help you. I can't promise it'll help you. I don't know that it'll help you. I took this on a hunch. I had this ding, ding, ding in me, and I thought, this is what I need. And so I bought it. First day, I took a half a pill just in case I reacted funny, because, react to everything. And I didn't react. So I took the other half. Excuse me. And then I took one at night. And then I had a healing crisis. I don't know if you guys know what a healing crisis is, but that's actually when you, I don't know. Actually, I don't really know what a healing crisis is, but it seems like you get worse before you get better. It's almost like everything of the virus it's almost like you've stripped back the curtains and the virus is given full leash to just kind of fight with you. It's almost like you're saying, I am going to kill you, and it comes back with a vengeance to take you out so that you don't kill it. Maybe it's fighting for its life. Maybe that's what a healing crisis is, a virus fighting for its life. I don't know what it is, but the first 2 days I was so tired. I was so sick. My stomach hurt. I thought, these are not working. I just spent $270 on these pills and they are not working. And this was my hope. And I had a family chat that night, and my brother always asked how I'm doing. And I was like, I feel crappy. I feel horrible. I started taking this nitric oxide and it just isn't really working. But, I was going to continue because I thought, what if this is a healing crisis? What if my body is now fighting that, because that's the thing that's going to heal it? Day 3, I had all this energy. I have had energy every day since then. Every single day, except for when I started taking the histamine stuff. I got really sick for 2 days. My histamine really acted up. Again, a healing crisis. Day 3, it was all over and I was so much better. I could start eating things. When I took this, I was so much better. My blood pressure's gone down more. So now I'm like 120/65. My energy level is amazing. I'm waking up early in the morning. I actually wake up and I go outside for a minute and I stand in the grass with my bare feet and I look up at the sky just to get that nice light in me before I start looking at my computer. And I am busy. I have been redecorating the house. I have been going out getting chairs for this meet and greet that I'm going to do. And it's just been really, really busy. And I have been keeping up. And it is this nitric oxide. It is healing me, guys. It is healing me. So all those videos that I made where I was like, I'm not doing better. Now this happened. Now this happened. Now this happened. This is the good video. This is the good video where I say, I have found what works for my health. I'm feeling really good. I have energy. I'm getting up earlier than I have in 35 years. I am eating more than just the lamb now. I'm conquering the histamine issues. I am fine on carnivore. I'm not having all the microbiome, problems of them dying, getting all upset. I think I've kind of passed that. I'm sure I am oxalate dumping and will continue to oxalate dump if that happens. But I am doing so much better. So, bottom line, I have not lost as much as I want to, but as a 63-year-old woman, I better not complain about losing 35 pounds in 14 weeks, right? I mean, that would be ludicrous because there are a lot of women that are having a lot more trouble losing weight. Also, the fact that my waist has slimmed down so much, puts me out of that high danger zone, which just makes me feel a little bit better about things. I can't complain about it because I went off my blood pressure medication. So many things have been healed in me. My gut is good. My bowel movements are fine now. I am not, I can't complain. I'm not going to complain. Do I want to be one of those people that lost 90 pounds in 3 months? Yeah, I really do. But then again, I don't want to be one of those women that said I lost weight too fast and lost my hair. So you know what? 35 pounds in 3 months, not so bad. And I did have a stall for a whole month, and that made me insane. But in the last little while, I've started losing again. Not quickly, just very slowly, 1 or 2 pounds a week. But at least it's in the right direction. So now I am exercising more because I'm running around the house. I bought some kettlebells, so I'm doing things with my kettlebells. I have some stretchy things, so I can do things with that. And I don't do it. I don't do it in an organized way. Like I'll walk past my kettlebells and talk to my husband and start doing them a little bit. That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm getting a lot of walking in because we live in this sprawling house. There's like 3,000 square feet that we're just sprawling through on one floor. And so if I walk from this room to the kitchen, it's quite the walk. And I'm not very organized. I'm ADD, so I walk back and forth a lot of times because I forget things. So I'm actually getting a lot of walking in too. I haven't been sitting at the computer the last few weeks, so I am really working on getting exercise, which I knew I would once I felt good enough to do it. I just hadn't felt good enough to do it until now. So that's how I'm doing. I am thankful for carnivore. I am thankful for carnivore because it helped me figure things out. Even getting that histamine issue, that helped me figure out a whole bunch of histamine things that I never would have known had I not gotten the histamine issue. Being on this elimination diet has helped me so much because I am avoiding all the things I'm allergic to. Like I didn't know I was allergic to pork. Little by little, once I get my health totally back, and by totally back, I mean I want to be totally healthy and completely down at my goal weight, and stay there for a while and maintain it for a while. Then I might start looking at a few things to see if I want to add anything back. But I know that I can never add carbohydrates back in. I can't. My body can't handle the carbohydrates. I'm not going to go bringing myself back into that high sugar, high insulin issue. I'm not going to ever try that. So yeah. So should you try carnivore? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I know as someone who was as sick as me, and I was sick, guys. I was sick. Like when I started this carnivore journey just 12 weeks ago, I was so tired and so sick and couldn't do anything. I basically got up off the couch and went to bed, and then got out of bed and laid on the couch. That's what I did. I could not do much of anything else. And I had a weekend retreat here for some women that came, and I had to be the hostess. And I was crying when I was running up and down from the barn to my house to the barn to my house because I had no energy and I was so tired. And then I had to teach them yoga, and I had no energy, but fortunately we always do restorative yoga, which is laying down and stretching. And that felt really good to me. It did me a lot of good, but I couldn't have done anything else. Like I could never have done a vinyasa flow. It would have killed me. So I am so improved since then, but I'm not going to give all the credit to carnivore diet because I really am going to give the credit to this. Nothing made me feel better until I started taking the nitric oxide. And it's expensive, and it's up to each person if they want to take it. But if you have a chronic illness that's been dogging you, that came from a virus, like mine, I had mononucleosis from the Epstein-Barr virus, or if you have long COVID, or if you have Lyme, any of these things that are dogging and staying around with you, this is something worth checking out. So that's my good news. And I wanted to tell you guys because I know that you have been rooting for me. And a few people asked me, how are you feeling? What's going on? It's just been a journey. And the whole time I kept thinking, why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing this? Obviously, I'm too sick to even do this. Now, I just want to say that my daughter also has been doing it, and she's been doing it for a month. This is amazing. She's never stayed on any food plan for a whole month. This has been much easier for her. She's 29 years old. She lost 7 inches off her waist. She's lost like 17 pounds. She is a lot more lenient. She doesn't have the histamine issues. She has been incorporating some dairy, but she has youth to her advantage. She's been eating some butter bites. We made butter bites and she's been eating them. And, she's clocking her calories and her max and everything else. So it's been a good thing for her too. I mean, it really has. And I can see some great changes in her, and she's feeling a lot better about herself. And this is something that she wants to continue doing. So husband, no, doesn't want to do it. Although he has eaten some of the recipes that she's made that are a little more fun. I'm eating your basic lamb chop, but she's been making more fun things, and he has been partaking in them and loving them. And he did find a carnivore soup recipe for her the other day that was chicken broth and meatballs and eggs with Parmesan cheese dropped in like those were the noodles, and she loves that soup. So he has been getting involved in some of the carnivore stuff. I think that he's probably eating maybe a little less bread and maybe a little less of that bad stuff. So it's not quite as fun when everyone's not eating it, right? We can't order pizza anymore, and we can't go out for ice cream and all that kind of stuff. So she's been doing great, and I'm really thankful for carnivore. So I've started a few of these saying, I am, not the picture child for carnivore. And yet right now I'm really, really happy because I'm feeling better than I have in a long time. And I know I look better. I can tell that I look better, a lot better. I look healthier. I still have the bags under my eyes. That is the histamine allergy stuff, but I think that I've zeroed in on some of the big issues, and I think that carnivore really helps you do it. So if you haven't tried carnivore yet, go ahead and try it, but ease your way into it. Take it from me, ease your way into it. And, just give it a try. It doesn't hurt you. And if you're doing keto and it's working, cool, keep doing keto. And if you're just watching me because you're just wondering what's going to happen to me, good things have happened to me right now. I'm really, really happy. I have energy now so that I'm going to be able to do a meet and greet at my house. I was not going to be able to do it. I have been putting off advertising for it because I thought I'm not going to have the energy to do it, but I do now. This has been a very long video. I've almost talked for an hour. I can't believe it. Probably most of you guys have left by now, but for those of you who watched the whole thing, thank you for giving me 50 minutes of your time. And if you are someone or someone who struggles with chronic illness, like an unexplained mystery illness, like chronic COVID or chronic Epstein-Barr, or they got mono, it never went away. If they're struggling with Lyme, show them this video and just if you want to believe me, look at my other past videos and listen to me. I was struggling. I didn't even have energy to talk. And now I have so much energy. I'm doing so much better. I can't even believe it. I'm so happy. I could just skip. But I'm going to get up off the chair now because I feel good enough to do some more moving of furniture. That's what I've been doing all week, and decorating and moving things around and getting ready for my big shindig. And I hope you guys have a great day. Leave a comment. Tell me how you're doing. Okay? Bye.